We'd like to welcome everyone here tonight and thank you for blowing in and attending with us and bringing the dust and dirt. We are excited about our meeting tonight because we have some special presentations to honor people. Not excited they're not with us, but that we can honor them. So at first, I'd like to call the meeting to order and ask Mr. Kroll to call the roll.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Roscoe? Present. Ms. Fayette?
Present.
Mrs. Cameron?
Yes, a
Mr.
present.
Mr. Crowe present.
Okay, if we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I salute the flag
Of the state of New Mexico, the Zia symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Thank you. All right, at this time, I would
Ask for a change.
ask for, before we approve our agenda, I believe there's some changes that need to.
There's one change, Madam Vice Chair, members of the board. We have a special presentation that needs to be added. It's just a report recognizing one of our high school graduates.
Okay. Okay, when are we gonna do this one?
And then the other
Oh,
item,
okay.
no other
All right.
items have changed. So
Oh.
we request that you add that special report.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the agenda with the addition that was given?
I make a motion that we approve the agenda with the added report.
I second that.
Okay, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Roscoe? Yes. Mrs. Fayette?
Yes.
Mrs. Cameron?
Yes,
Mr. Crowe, yes.
thank you. We do have a quorum. And I would say that Mrs. Hernandez is out of town, or she would be here. Our next is our special presentation that we have to one of our graduates.
Yes. Madam President, members of the board, members of the audience, we are excited to announce that Miss Melanie Hurado, come on up, was recognized by the New Mexico School Boards Association. They offer scholarships in the different regions. And so Region 8 is the region we serve in. And so they have recognized, we nominated you, and they have awarded you a $1,200 check to be used to pay towards your tuition, fees, books, or any other costs necessary to pursue your degree. So congratulations. They sent what is it, certificate, but it says 1,000, but guess what? They added a 2, so it's $1,200. So congratulations. And do you want a picture with the board?
Yes.
Since they're the ones who nominated you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
And it was Mrs. Cameron's signature on the nomination. That's awesome. Yes. School, come on over. Back there, we Photoshop in.
One, two, three.
Congratulations. Thank you. I love those celebrations.
Oh, yes. Okay, our next report is for National Education Association. Come on up here.
Members of the board, Superintendent Chavez. So it's been, you know, start of the year. Like a lot of us that are at secondary are like, oh my God, it's already time. However, elementary is going, oh, we got a little extra time. So it's a balance for everybody. We've been doing really well. We did the new teacher luncheon in July, yeah, right before we went back. And then in the last couple of months, I've gotten like 15 new members. So yay. I haven't found out how many I lost though yet. So we'll see how that goes. We're just chugging along. We're looking at implementing that scholarship still. They're going to put it through in the next, probably in August. And we will be bringing you the CBA for you guys to vote on in August, most likely. We had some changes with the nutrition workers at the last minute. And so we've got to get that finalized and then run it past my members for ratification. And then it'll go to y'all in August for ratification. Any questions?
No, I just wanted to say, I thought your presentation during the opening ceremonies was very positive and
Quick.
inclusive. Well, no, but also inclusive of everyone. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. At this time, we have a board tribute to a person who served on the Deming Board of Education. I'm not sure what years we have on that, but Clara Jo, known mostly in this community as Jody McSherry. She was the first woman board member to serve on the Deming Public Schools. And I remember she always was very positive and very proactive for education and for staff. So at this time, if the family members who are in attendance, if they will come forward.
She left a long legacy with 2 other board members.
Yes.
Right.
I'm sorry, I didn't mention that. We have a plaque that says in memory of Clara Jo, Jody McSherry, 1927 to 2022, the first woman elected to Deming Public Schools Board of Education. So we don't know how you're going to draw to get this, but it is our honor and to recognize the memory of someone that gave so much to public education, following up with all of her children who have been on the board giving service to the public education. So we appreciate you being here and just know that her memory will live on with us and will always be, as we do our planning, to know that the people that came before really started the path for us.
That's so wonderful. We appreciate this very much. You know, education was very important to her and to ensure that the Deming Public Schools were right up there on top. So that was very important for her.
And when were you on the board? I forgot.
Well, let's see, probably 2018, 19.
Okay, and you were,
05 to 13, and then mom and I had the same first grade teacher, and mom signed my diploma. At my-
okay, well, you can add something.
I made it out of high school as a valedictorian.
Well, that was, I bet she was proud.
Well, and I don't know if they still give the award of the Brains and Brawn Award, which is
Maybe we should.
it's the athlete that has the highest
Oh,
grade point.
Yes, we do.
So I happen to have played for Rusty Holfack
Oh.
and the Deming Wildcat team.
Yeah.
All of the good memories, if you
Very
will.
good.
Coach
Then-
Hofack was kind enough to give that to me too, even though I didn't play.
But you were a team player.
But mom made sure we got a good education here in Deming. And quite frankly, my thoughts about the Deming public school system and the times that we went through that era and the teachers, actually the quality of teachers that we had that helped us along was amazing for a town of this size. And we all went to college and all got jobs and
You didn't have a choice on that, did you?
it was either work on the farm or go to college. So.
Yeah.
No, so anyway, but what Tristan and David said is that mom was very supportive of education. And so we really appreciate that. We're gonna miss her.
Yes,
She will.
yes. And she has many friends out there, and I thought highly of her for the times I did get to visit with
And
her.
again, thank you for this very,
Mhm.
we will put it up in her room.
Yeah, where she was close to where she was born and
Yeah.
lived all her life. actually, so.
Okay,
Very nice.
Ms. Ford, would you like to come over and we'll get a picture?
Do we have to scoot there?
Okay.
He's my neighbor, I'll get closer to him.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Well deserved.
Oh,
Thank you
okay.
so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Stop by if you get time.
It's always nice to have these special tributes to people who give so much. And as those out here that are active,
Do you need us to stay to the bitter end?
only if you want some bitterness. You're welcome. You will not be rude by leaving. And we appreciate you to have three of you is, I think, an honor. And so thank you. And we'll get you a picture.
Because as chairperson, I've been known to keep everyone a little late.
Well, just remember next time I have a flat on the road to, yeah.
Thank you all so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. We're now to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that move.
All right, we have a motion and a second.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Would you call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Orozco? Yes. Mrs. Paez?
Yes.
Mrs. Cameron?
Yes,
Mr. Crow, yes.
thank you. And I should have read, the consent agenda included minutes of the special meeting on June 28, 22, payment of bills of June 2022, and approval of maintenance bars. That's, I should have said that before we voted, but to let you know, that's what we did vote on it. Okay. And as part of the Deming Public Schools accountability procedures and as recommended by the state auditor, 3 bills were randomly selected and audited by the board. The board also reviewed a monthly report of activity funds. All procedures met state and district regulations. So now we're to our action item.
Yes, Madam Vice Chair, members of the board, our first action item that we're requesting approval is the budget adjustment requests. And in your packet, bar number 3 is for the Title IV, a transfer bar in order to cover the cost of counselors who attended registration at the ASCA, which is the Association for Counseling. Thank you. American School Counselors Association conference. And we had, how many did we have attend?
All but 2.
All but 2. So that's a really great number. They had an opportunity to do that. So that, and then number 4 is a private grant. It's the Kellogg grant that I had shared with you in the past regarding childcare, and we just received budget authority. So we have to get the bar entered with PED. So we received the money and are getting that in. So that's, I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have of that item, those items.
Are there any questions?
I just have one question. When it comes to the counselors meeting, is this, do you guys go every year, or is this something that, I'm talking to Mr. Wayne?
I'm not a counselor
Oh,
anymore.
yeah.
We did not go in the past. I heard that they went this year. I was really excited about that. I don't know.
Because I had never heard that they had gone in the past.
We did, when I was counselor, we did.
Oh, awesome.
We strive to send them on, now that the restrictions have maybe come down. This was a yearly thing in the past for our counselors. So Title IV funding, carryover funding, was able to fund it. So this was just a switch over because it was a function code that we we needed to get. So this was an amazing opportunity for them to attend as a team as well, so it's a good learning opportunity.
I apologize. I just got so used to you being the council.
Oh, yeah.
I'd go look for him, yeah.
Any other questions? All right, if not, I'd entertain a motion for the approval of the budget adjustment request.
I make a motion that we approve the budget adjustment request.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the budget adjustment request for Title IV and for private grants. Would you call the roll, please?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mrs. Paez?
Yes.
Mrs. Cameron?
Yes.
Mr. Crowe, yes.
Okay, the motion passes. Thank you.
So Madam Vice Chair, members of the board, the second item we're asking approval for is of the local government road fund cooperative agreement that has the actual agreement laid out. We've discussed this in prior board meetings because we had to approve that we were interested in the money first, and this is the final step in this. The Department of Transportation will support 75% of the cost of those parking barriers. I don't know the official name of those parking barriers, but we're going to be putting those to keep people from going through parking lots.
Those
and
big concrete.
Those big concrete.
Oh,
What are they
I'm
called?
sure there's a fancy name.
Pylons?
Pylons.
Pylon,
Yeah,
yeah.
so they're paying 75% of the $12,000 cost, and
Wow.
we will be responsible for 3,000. And this is the agreement.
Okay.
So we ask for your approval.
Okay, do I,
so where are the pylons going to be located?
Do you have that information?
It's in there.
Oh, I didn't read it.
are there any other questions while he looks that up?
Ms. Echeverry worked on this and has, I believe Columbus was one of the areas that they were looking at. It's the parking lots in several of the schools, but I don't know. I believe Columbus was one of them,
Like Baton and RST.
and Baton and
It's
RST.
just worded in here as district wide, but those are the focus areas.
Awesome, thank you.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay. Hearing none,
Mhm.
I'll entertain a motion for approval of the local government road fund cooperative agreement.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. No further discussion. Would you call the roll for us, please?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Orozco?
Yes.
Mrs. Paez?
Yes.
Mrs. Cameron?
Yes,
Mr. Crowe, yes.
the motion passes. Thank you. All right, we're now on the approval of our memorandum of understanding between Deming Cesar Chavez Charter High School and Deming Public Schools lease agreement for the school year 22-23. Wow.
Madam Vice Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Chavez, yes. We are upkeeping our facilities. Of course, we're looking forward to September, having our portables done. We have made this sample there. So we are keeping our promise to upkeep the facilities, and we are maintaining as best as we can. So we look forward to bringing in 3 daycares, 2 Help New Mexico's and 1 His Kids. So our families grow.
Now, will that be year round?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Are you currently year round?
Right now, we are our childcare that we have.
All right, I'm talking about the childcare. Any other questions? Superintendent?
The only other piece I would add, Madam Vice Chair, members of the board, is that this does not exceed, the lease agreement does not exceed the award provided to the charter school by PSFA for lease.
That's cool.
So
Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, I would ask for a motion.
I make the motion that we approve the understanding between Cesar Chavez and high school and Denver Public Schools
Okay, agree for the lease agreement.
for the lease agreement.
Would you please call the roll, please?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mrs. Perez,
Yes.
Mrs. Cameron,
Yes.
Mr. Crowe, yes.
Okay, thank you. The motion passed. Now we have item D, approval of the memorandum of understanding. I'm sorry.
Yes, no, you're fine. Madam Vice Chair, members of the board, the next item of approval is related to our MOU with Deming Cesar Chavez High School and the Special Ed Department to provide services, and Ms. Boggs and Mr. Nunez will give you more.
Madam Vice President, members of the board, Superintendent Chavez, you have before you the agreement with the charter school. It really is pretty much the same as we've done every year. It's just about compliance with IEPs and due dates and those kind of things. There are a few minor changes like adding MLSS in there, and I had two, you'll see in red, two changes where the wording just needed to be adjusted. One where we said evaluations had to be for the IEP within 60 days. That's not accurate. Just the eval has to be completed within 60 days. Just a minor correction. It's pretty much the same as it was before.
And members of the board, Madam Vice Chair, members of the board, Superintendent, we have been blessed and fortunate that the Midland schools and Mrs. Boggs has serviced us in the non-charter school and have helped our facilitator with any questions, and as Mr. Wyman. So we're very fortunate to have that partnership with them, and they always come out anytime we have issues or questions. They invite my facilitator to their trainings. So we're going to continue doing what we're doing. We're just trying to get better every single day.
That's very good to hear. When everyone works together. Yes, yes. Any other questions or comments? If not, we'll entertain a motion for approval of the understanding between Deming Public Schools, DPS, Deming Department of Special Education, and the Deming Cesar Chavez Charter High School. Would you call the roll for us, please?
I'll make a motion. I'll second that.
Oh, I guess we have to have a motion first, don't we? All right, I apologize for that. We have a motion, we have a second. Okay, now, without any other discussion, would you call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mrs. Perez,
Yes.
Mrs. Cameron,
Yes,
Mr. Crowe, yes.
the motion carries. Ooh, they're gone. Okay, now we're down to the superintendent's report.
And I'll make these quick, Madam Vice Chair, members of the board. So the first thing I just wanted to report was, as most of you were able to be there, the kickoff back to school conference received a lot of positive feedback. We had good feedback to improve for next year. I always look at those constructive feedback as opportunities to improve, but overall, I think it was received well. And we'll be pulling a group together. Ms. Echeverry and Mr. Turner will be pulling people together to start planning it for next year in September and getting more involvement and direction from others as to what that should look like. So looking forward to that for next year. School started Monday. We have about 225 students at the high school who have registered as work. They're out in the community working or working somewhere else. So we have them sign up for that so that we would be able to track attendance well. Our attendance numbers have been exceptional at the elementary schools, with the lowest attendance being around 90. Let me look at my other numbers. Well, I would say 92% is, yeah, I'm looking at these in detail, and there's about 92% at the elementary level is our attendance rate. Our sixth grade rate is around 95%.
Wow.
Our seventh and eighth grade rate is around 90.5%. High school does have a lower average. It's ranging from 76% as in 12th grade to a high of 89% or 90% in ninth grade. So we have pretty good attendance this week. And so I think that's important for you all to know.
May I ask a question?
Absolutely.
On the attendance of students not working. That are working cannot attend school yet. Are they getting credit for
Yes.
I've
So they actually have a start date of August 1st.
Okay.
And if they bring back the documentation they picked up the documentation from from the school that their employer has to complete
Okay.
and a test that they've been working these 10 days.
And so then we would build that into the attendance.
Exactly.
Very good.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, and then we have some minor situations at other schools where a family went backpacking in Europe and won't be back until August 19th. Like, that's a great experience. We need to, respect and honor that, right? So we have a few situations like that where families have just been out of the state or out of the country or all-stars have happened. And so baseball kids are out playing all-stars. So we've done planned absences for the students like that. So we have a few of those, but it's not near as many that are out working. I have 225 registered, documented that they're out going to be working.
Okay. Thank you.
So Vicki, the public information that went out, letting people know that if they didn't come to school the first day, they were going to have to be dropped and re-registered. Do you think that made a difference? I heard a lot of parents talk to me about that too.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
And that's the rule of the state.
That's what
I mean,
told
and I
them.
know that upset some people initially. We had feedback ourselves.
Yeah.
Talk to the governor.
That's what I
And it's the rule of the state that if they don't show up, you're required to drop them.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Because
I think it did help.
yeah, it's actually a lot of work to drop them and then re-enroll them
It
for
is.
everybody.
It is.
So I'm sure,
Yeah.
that's what I told people. And
Yes.
I did tell them that it was not a local decision that was made. It was a rule that the state made.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Regarding the health order was renewed until July 29th. It was set to expire the 15th. So we've kind of been tentatively holding in terms of what do we have to do to respond to it. We've been waiting for a new toolkit that came out at about 3:00 this afternoon. So we are combing through that to see what's different. It doesn't seem like there's much difference at the first glance, but we'll be getting that out. And I guess we'll see if the governor renews the health order on the 29th of July. There's, as far as surveillance testing and test to stay, those things are still there. And so do you have something else to add, Ms.?
The biggest change that I've noticed in it is instead of just this is the way it's going to be, it's recommended.
Right.
They're just recommending.
Right. There's a lot of recommendations. And so we're going to be looking at that to see what do we have to do? What do we need to do in response to spread, watch, like where it's going up just like it is
Yeah.
across the country, but we're not having the illnesses. Some people have gotten very, very sick and most people are not. It's more like a cold, literally a cold this time, this variant. So sometimes you don't even know you're walking around with it.
Yeah.
That's what we're finding. So, but there is no more funding for testing. So school districts are not receiving any additional funding. We can spend the money we were given last school year. They've allowed us to carry it over, and we have about $150,000 to carry us through. We're required to provide testing free of charge, so everybody has access. So it will be interesting to see what we're required to, how that all plays out over the time. That'll last for a little bit.
Well, can we, what's the word? I don't want to say dictate, but can we require the students or the staff to take the test?
So there's still requirements around not fully vaccinated
Okay.
people and surveillance testing. It seems like that hasn't been lifted, but we just got it. So I haven't dug into it. Did you have an opportunity? Do you have any more information related to that, Ms. Farnell?
That has not changed.
Okay, that's not changed. So the surveillance testing is still required if you're not fully vaccinated and eligible for boosters. So the management of this is still really big, but there's no additional funding happening. So the burden to manage it is really large. So we have to maintain vaccination status on everyone, including students now. We have to, all of that has to be done. Then close contact information, it's still quite a burden
Wow.
administratively. Yes.
Any other questions or comments? All right, then we'll go
So,
to,
so the next item was related to staffing that I just
Mhm.
wanted to update. I don't know, Mrs. Ruddle, if you could tell us what our percentage of openings are and how it compares to last year.
she's excited.
We are sitting right now at around 24, 25 vacancies. We have been able to hire some more this week. We just added 3 new teachers who will be starting August 1st. We're also working with universities and we brought in some student teachers who will be teaching with us. We've set them up with team teachers. So we're kind of excited to work through that process. It's kind of exciting for them too, as they start their career. So I would say around 24, 25, subject to change in 5 minutes. Going well though. We're about, I would say we're right about where we usually are this time of year. This tends to be our norm and has been for several years now. We have been fortunate this year as well as in years past to be able to bring on alternatively licensed teachers. And I believe, Ms. Chavez, you were here for our new teacher orientation and you saw the caliber of people that we had with us and the degrees that were sitting in the room who have decided that they want to work with and teach our kids. So that's exciting for us as well. And we'll just continue plugging along and see what else we can.
And the substitutes?
Substitutes were healthy. We are healthy.
Healthy in number?
Today, we onboarded 30 more just today, yesterday and today.
Great.
So our substitute pool is healthy. We're very pleased. We were able to get them back. We were able to bring back most of those who were employed with us last year. We were able then to also, we had a big push locally and we were able to bring in several more. So our sub pool is looking very healthy right now. We're very pleased.
We hired several of our subs too that were from
Yes,
last year
principals
into
steal a lot of our
permanent
subs.
positions.
Yeah, the principals steal a lot of our subs. They move into our EA positions. And Enrique also works, we work very closely. Anytime he finds somebody that has a degree, we jump on that really quickly as well. So.
That's good to hear.
We're in a better place.
Yes, ma'am.
And the quarantine is 5 days unless there's other situations like severe immunocompromised individuals. So we're down from the 10 days to the 5 days. And so that's going to help too. I would say where we're hurting the most is probably in our bus drivers at this point.
Bus drivers
We
and
are-
special education teachers.
Right.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes, I agree. But we are down, we still have 2 routes that are not being run. And we have 3 of our bus drivers filling in for one of our contractors because they couldn't fill all this. Well, they lost people last minute and they won't be ready until the 1st of August. And so it's just, we've even pulled people who have a license who have not driven for a while and they're helping us out too. So it's been a little bit of a dance.
We're working closely with the Sanchez.
Yes.
Mr. Sanchez and we're onboarding 2 of his right now.
Right.
We've got them in process right now as well for them. So
Yes.
that's hopeful.
So I feel like we're in a better place though than in terms of just being able to cover
I feel
for a
that.
lot of reasons.
And then when I watched the news last night about Albuquerque, I felt really good. 600 or more, yes.
I didn't see that.
600.
I have a question.
Yes.
How about the student attendance? Is it pre-COVID kind of student enrollment and student numbers, or is it?
We're
still
still
kind
a
of
little
low?
bit lower than, so pre-COVID, probably 2 years pre-COVID, I believe Deming was at around 5,300, 52 something to 53. And we're sitting right around 5,000 as of last year. And this year, right now with enrollment, I believe we're right around 4,800. We don't have pre-K, that'll give us a few. So there's a few, I mean, we believe we're gonna get to the same number we had last year, at least the 5,000. I believe we'll get there by the 40th day, which is in October.
Any other questions?
They are.
Comments? Okay,
So, Madam Vice Chair, members of the board, the only item under under facilities that I want to share at this time is related to our security projects. We have been working really hard since May to get ring camera type systems in our schools that don't have secure vestibules. So we have 4 schools that don't have a place to stop visitors before they actually enter the building. And those cameras are on order. And it has been since the 1st of June that they've been telling us 2 weeks, maybe in 14 days. So we're still in this place of trying, but safety is really important. So we asked those 4 schools to come up with a different process for how they were going to allow parents in and how they were, or the community in, basically the public in during the school day. And at this time, I believe all of them have made it to where you have to call the front office, let them know you need to come in. And we're really trying to limit the public coming into the building, just free access. Because I know safety is on everybody's mind and we want to do what we need to. We've also gone out to bid for bid lots related to security projects. You've heard Mr. O talk about them in the projects. We received PSFA funding to help support that. The cost to do a secure vestibule, say that fast, has skyrocketed. So it went from where we thought it was going to be about $50,000 to $80,000 a school. It's $250,000 a school.
wow.
So our security award doesn't even come close. So we're going to have to really, we have to make a decision, and we'll be meeting on how we're going to do that. But again, in the meantime, we have ordered ring type systems that are more commercial in terms of durability, but and they'll be wired so that they can talk in cameras and they can see the people coming in. So we're working on that because we don't know that we can do all those secure vestibules with the money we were given. So anyways, I just wanted to let you know that we are taking security seriously. We want to make sure that we've also at our back to school conference, Mr. Hasso had packed sessions going over not unlocking doors and propping them open, and a lot of practices that as our behaviors can help protect our students and our staff as well. So really trying to stay focused and make sure we're all doing our part for that. And then the only other thing I want to share is that, did you know that we are the chamber winner of the best workplace? That's very cool. That was pretty exciting to receive that award, and appreciate everyone who voted for our schools. We were up against quite a few other businesses in town, and excited that we had people vote for us. So we had enough votes.
Wonderful.
And Madam Chair,
Yes.
members of the board, that is all I have.
Oh, my goodness. Any of the board have anything to add? I just know on behalf of the board how much we appreciate the work that has gone in over the last 2 years. And we'd like to be able to say next year it won't be a better way, but I think we're all in a new era. And but please communicate to your staff that we as a board recognize what you're doing. I know I used to hear back in the when I was in the schools, people say, well, they don't know anything, they don't care, but let them know that we do care and that we do appreciate the concerns that they take to their supervisors, and of course, some of them to us too. And but we know it's been the last 2 years have really been challenging, and we appreciate that, and we want them to know that too as well. Okay. Any board requests for agenda items? Okay, I don't see any requests. Our next regular board meeting will be August the 18th, 2022. And now I would Do I have any?
Entertainment.
Entertain a motion to adjourn our open meeting and move into the executive closed session.
I'll make that motion.
Oh, do I need to read all this? Okay.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn and move into executive closed session. Could we have a roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Roscoe? Yes. Mrs. Paez?
Yes.
Mrs. Cameron?
Yes.
Mr. Crowe, yes.
We are now going into executive closed session, and no action will be taken in the closed executive session. Thank you for being here, and thank you again for your hard work. Now, Charles, does Amy sign these when she comes back?
We need Amy.
Okay, they were here and I just didn't want to,
Yeah,
I started to sign and I thought, no, I don't think so. So,
I'll get Amy to sign.
okay, you might want to take those around.
Yeah, no, I have mine.
Oh, are these just
Yours,
examples?
yeah.
Okay, good.
And,
All right. Thank you for everything.
yes, ma'am.
I think I got a little dehydrated today.
You did?
Yeah, that's why I have a little mixture. So
It was hot. It was uncomfortable. And it wasn't,
Yeah, it's
Hey, the air's not working, huh?
It's not working. The thing has a little note to check the filters. I need to call it. We barely found that out earlier.
well, you know,
anybody who works outside, like